Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today is episode 2 of my new Flip It Thursday series, and basically in this series I take something that I either had on hand or something that I thrifted or even bought new from the store and flip it into something new and beautiful and share it with you guys here on the channel. I've already posted last week's Flip It Thursday, so if you want to check out that video and see the items that I flipped, I will have it linked down below and also at the end of today's video. But without further ado, let's jump right into this week's Flip It Thursday. This first project in this week's Flip It Thursday series, I think you guys are gonna really love this one. So we're gonna be painting a piece of art today. So the other day I was at Bella's Outlet. I went in to actually look for ball caps for the gym. And of course, y'all know me, I can't go to the store without hitting the clearance aisle just to see if there's anything that I just can't live without. And I hit the aisle and this little photo caught my eye. I love the ducks. I think the colors are absolutely beautiful. The frame really stood out to me, and honestly, that's one of the reasons why I decided to purchase it. Not only just because of the frame, but the actual texture that this piece of art has. It has like a canvas texture. It is a printed piece of art though, it's not actually painted. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna paint over it. I'm gonna make my own little art. This is a great way to save money when it comes to buying art for your home. Go to the thrift stores, buy an old piece of art and repaint it into something that fits your style. And that's what we're gonna do today. I paid $11.24 for this. Like I said, I think it's absolutely beautiful. And this would be really cute just in a bathroom, just as decor in the bathroom. But the ducks really are not my thing for my house. So we're gonna create a really beautiful landscape on this today. And I am, you guys, I can't with them. I can't do anything. One last look at the beautiful duck art. All right, so we're gonna jump right in. First thing I'm gonna do is tape off the frame. The goal is not to get paint on this beautiful frame. That is actually what drew me to this piece of art to begin with. And for $11.24, the size, the look of this gold frame is stunning. It was worth every penny in my opinion. So I taped it all off really well. I'm gonna lay down a trash bag and go ahead and start getting my paint set up. Now, when it comes to using certain like paints in general, I just lay out a variety of colors and then I mix them along the way. So sometimes I need like a light brown, sometimes I need a dark brown. I sometimes have to create those colors because it's hard to find like the perfect tone sometimes, and I have found that if I mix like a dark brown, a little bit of dark like army green, and a little bit of black together, I get the most beautiful like dark greenish brown. It's like a brown with a green undertone. It's perfect for landscape photos. So I end up doing that a lot, just mixing different colors together, creating new shades. So unfortunately, I can't tell you all the shades that I used. I just lay out the basic colors and mix them as I go. Now, I do want to share another idea with you in case you are not someone who wants to paint. I know some of you have shared in the past that you are just not a painter, you just can't do it, which is totally fine. But if you want to flip a piece of art that you already have on hand, add some joint compound to it. And let me tell you, it will create the most beautiful textured piece of art that you cannot find in stores. All you gotta do is go to Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever hardware store you have, go in and look for pre-mixed joint compound. Come home, tape off your frame really well, add that joint compound right to the piece of art, and you can smooth it out with your hands. There's so many different techniques. You can use a sponge, you could use a wide tooth comb that you already have on hand and kind of just like make different lines in it and create something really, really awesome right at home with minimal skill. It doesn't take any skill to do that. And then make sure, if you are going to do that, that you peel the tape off before the joint compound dries, so that way you don't have any like tape stuck inside the joint compound or the joint compound, kind of chipping off. So that's always a great option if you do not want to actually paint something on the old art that you have. Now, jumping right in, I'm starting off with a white and a beige mixed together, and I'm going to start by adding in the sky up here at the top. Now, the brush I'm using is actually a chalk/wax paintbrush, but I have found that this creates the most beautiful clouds, and I love painting with this. This is like my go-to paintbrush for like a really layered, blended like textured background. I don't really know how to, I'm not good at describing things, but this is my go-to paintbrush for starting off any art. I use this even on the piece of art that I have above my bed. This is the best paintbrush for creating clouds and just like that layered effect. Now, as I am adding in the white, I'm also mixing in the beige as well. I even add some gray, definitely creating some depth with the sky. I want it to look like it's, you know, kind of like a rainy, cloudy day. That's like my go-to when it comes to skies for paintings. I keep blending. I just use my paintbrush and I'm kind of tapping. I'm not going in like a brush stroke back and forth motion. I'm actually tapping this paintbrush pretty hard actually, and that just really blends those colors together nicely. And you can already start to see the colors that I have blended together, creating, you know, some dark, you know, kind of rain clouds and also some lighter clouds. It just really creates more of a realistic looking sky.
I know that we would never work. I know that someone would get hurt. I think I have to let you go. Should be easy, but it's not. 'Cause the problem is I love you. What to do? I count to 3 when you're next to me. I love you. What to do now? Do now. Only problem is I love you. What to do? You got me bound, make my world spin round. I love you. What to do now? I want you.
You're stuck inside my head. Oh, I can't stop thinking about all the words you said. I think I have to let you go.
So this brown that I'm adding right now, I am going in different directions and kind of starting different points, and that's because there are different tones to this color. I know from this angle it's kind of hard to tell, but there are some darker shades in there, and adding them in different directions and starting on one side of the canvas and then moving to the other side, it just creates that, once again, that depth that you want with a painting. You don't want it to be like all solid one color, so that's why I jump, you know, from space to space. And then here I am now adding some darker shades to the bottom just to create those dark shadows. This is kind of just like my base layer. Obviously, I will add more and more on top once this starts to dry, but really I'm just creating a blended effect, dark, and then it gets a little lighter, and then it's, you know, light up in the sky. Once I finished up the bottom of the landscape, I dipped my paintbrush in water, swirled it around really good, and then dried it off a little bit to where it was still pretty damp. And then I take that paintbrush and I just tap that into the sky area, making it this kind of blend a little bit better. I felt like the sky was really light compared to the bottom, so I'm adding some of those warm tones to the sky. And once I tap in some of these dark clouds, I go back in with the white, adding the white on top of the dark shade, really just creating lots of layers, because that is what's going to make the clouds look like they're just popping right off that canvas. Now at this point you could totally stop and just leave this as like more of a flat landscape. I see these types of pieces of artwork all the time, all over social media. Everybody's decorating with these. This is just a perfect staple piece of art right here. What I would do though is I would add a little bit more depth, maybe create some hillsides with some darker shades, lighter shades on top to, you know, create the illusion that the sun's, you know, landing on the top of the hill. Maybe throw in some like really soft flowers would be pretty, but I'm not going to stop. For some reason, when I start painting, what comes to mind for me is oak trees. I naturally tend to paint dark, moody oak trees. I can't tell you why. It just comes natural, and I just kind of let it happen. And sometimes it turns out really good. Sometimes it ends up looking like a painting I've already done before. I'm trying to kind of steer away from that, and I do talk about it a little bit later on in the video, but you know, what can I say? I just like what I like, I guess.
I will get close to your heartache if you want to open your door. I'm feeling kinda lost when your mind is whatever that is choking your chest. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, 'cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind, now I'm here by your side. So let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. You won't get closer to me if you won't open your door. If that's what you want, then baby, try to believe me when I say that you can tell me anything. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking, 'cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind, now I'm here by your side. So let it all out of me. Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me.
Over the years, I've learned that the more layers you add to a painting, the better it's going to look, and it actually gives the illusion that the tree is coming out of the canvas and it's not just like a flat painting. So here I wanted to include, before I start adding all these darker shades, this is what it looked like, just a flat painting of a tree. There's nothing wrong with that, but once you add in these darker shades, it starts to make the trees pop more and look a lot more realistic. Not that I'm the best at painting by any means. I have a lot to learn, but I am self-taught, and these are just little things that I've learned over the years, and I truly hope to continue to learn and get better and better with time, and I'm really hoping that by the beginning of October, I can have a few new prints uploaded to my Etsy shop, so that way you can digitally download those. If you didn't know, I do have an Etsy shop. It's called Carrie Lynn Art. I'll have it here on the screen. And I started selling digital copies of my paintings. Now, my initial launch went amazing. Y'all were, oh my gosh, y'all blew my mind. I just couldn't believe the amount of support and just kind words and just encouragement. It really, really, really inspired me to continue to paint and share my art with you guys. But I did have a few hiccups. Unfortunately, one of the digital downloads that I had available was uploaded in the wrong format, and it happened to be the best one. It happened to be the one that I was selling the most of, which was the fall print. Unfortunately, the format was wrong, so if you downloaded it and tried to print it at Walgreens or Walmart, it would say this format's not accepted, please upload in a different format. Some of you were able to figure it out and transfer it to a different format, and some of you were, obviously coming to Etsy and saying, hey, it wouldn't let me download, or this format's not accepted to print at Walgreens, which is wild because I went through and purchased all of my own paintings through my husband's account to make sure that I could print them. And I don't know what happened during the upload process, but I messed up, and it was terrifying because I'm dealing with people's money. Like, I'm not playing with your money, y'all. I don't care if you spend 25 cents, $5, $10. I expect you to get what you pay for. And so when I was having so many of you reaching out, it was trying to reach out to you on Etsy, and then I would have to email you through my direct email instead because Etsy wouldn't allow me to send you the correct format through Etsy. So it was a process, and it was like, oh my gosh, I got so overwhelmed, and I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared to make another upload. I do know now what format to upload. I also know that y'all are amazing, and y'all have been so kind and patient with me as I learn all the ins and outs. However, I do want to just say one last time, if for whatever reason, because there were some people who purchased the fall print and never reached out to me, never said that you couldn't get it. So if you did make a purchase and for whatever reason you had an issue, please feel free to reach out to me over on Etsy. Go there, go to your purchases. You'll see my email that's attached. Email me directly That way I can make it right for you guys, please. I don't want you to spend your money on something that you don't get. So I just wanted to say one last time, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being so kind, patient, encouraging, and supportive with my initial Etsy launch. It meant the world to me, and I really, really hope to get a new painting available as a digital download for you guys very soon. I can't even put it into words how grateful I am.
Saw you paint a picture of a face, a face that wasn't even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love, but it's so hard to move on. You haven't changed, you stayed the same. But if you did, I'd still love you anyway. I'd give you the world like I promised I would, even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd give you the world like I promised I would, even though you wouldn't do the same. Had this conversation more than 10 times. After 9, I still wish you were mine.
Okay, I am done with the painting. I love how it turned out. It's definitely more me, dark, moody, more vintage style painting. Now, when I show you, y'all are gonna know, like, this is definitely a Carrie painting. I don't know what it is. I try hard not to paint the same thing, but every time I start painting, all my paintings kind of look similar. They all tend to have like the same theme. I don't know how to stop doing it. It just like naturally happens. Like I literally tried not to do that today, and it just, I don't know, it just turned into a dark, moody landscape. So anyway, without further ado, let me show you how it turned out. So 3, 2, 1. Dun, 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 dun. I love it. It's definitely more of a timeless, dark, moody look that I would hang in my house. I think it's really great. I do have a few touch-ups to make on this tree right here, but I've hit one of those moments. Number one, I have to go grab the kids from school. Number two, I have learned over the years when it comes to painting that if I keep messing with something too much, I will end up messing it up. So sometimes you have to take a break and just walk away from it for a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at. So I will do little touch-ups later if I need to, or if I feel like I still want to touch them up. Sometimes what happens is I think it needs touching up. I'll leave it for like 24 hours and I'll come back and I'm like, girl, why were you even trying to mess with it? It looks good the way it is. So take a break if you need to, if you are painting something. But I think it turned out pretty good. I actually even signed my name at the bottom of this one with paint and a paintbrush. Typically I sign the back just with pen because I'm not the best at like signing my name with paint. I've practiced and I tried, but I just can't do it. But today I actually accomplished it. So I love it. I think it's really beautiful, and you can't tell. This is definitely more me than the ducks. The ducks were cute, but they just weren't something I would hang in my house. So, beautiful piece of art for $11.24. You can't beat it. Plus the cost of like the paints, but acrylic paints are super cheap. I pay 50 cents for mine, or $1 a piece. I don't buy any crazy paint. A lot of y'all have asked what I paint with. Just basic, cheap acrylic paints. The folk art is actually my favorite. So folk art, and then I just buy like a cheap pack of paintbrushes and go to town. The second piece for Flip It Friday is this beautiful swan. What are the chances, right? I paint over the ducks and then I'm painting a swan. Like, what the heck? What's going on? So I found this one at a thrift store, and I remember seeing for a while there, people were finding these like really beautiful swans that were kind of like flat, and they would put like toilet paper on it or like a couple hand towels in the bathroom. But this one was the cutest swan I've ever seen that actually had the back that was open. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to paint this gold. What's new? Paint it gold. And then I'm going to use it for tissues or for like decor on my bookshelves because I love gold pieces, like gold accents. Oh my gosh, they're stunning. So when I paint anything gold, I always start with a dark base. I feel like this just gives you more of that antique, rustic kind of gold look. So I spray painted the Swan, like a dark bronze. Obviously not perfect. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're painting right over it with gold anyway. So then I spritz over it with gold and it just creates the most beautiful antique gold color. I think the metallic gold here that I'm using is fine, but I just like a little bit of those darker, warmer tones to come through. It just creates a beautiful look. So I got that all spray painted and I'm gonna let that fully dry. And then there's a couple options you could use this Swan for. Number one, tissue holder. How cute. You put this right on your bathroom shelf. Boom, you have a little spot to put tissues. You could use it as a makeup brush holder on your vanity. You can use it as just simple decor on the bookshelf, or you could even put a candle in the back of it. How beautiful is this? It totally just completely elevated it, painted it gold, and I love it right here on the shelf. I think it looks so pretty. Such a just a statement piece. Now, this next little DIY totally was not going to happen. Let me tell you what I was going to do. Do you remember on my last Flip It Thursday, I had the bar stool that I cut down and turned it into a shorter bar stool. So I was actually going to use this round piece and create another small bar stool with the leftover piece. And so many of you guys were like, you totally missed the opportunity to use that. And I saved it. I still have it. However, I got to thinking, I just redid my back patio and I don't have a small table to sit by my new patio chair. And I got to thinking, like, I already have this plant stand that's missing the top. So why not just glue this to the plant stand, turn this into a table, and then I have a little outdoor table. So this worked out much better. It's definitely something I needed. As far as the legs to the bar stool that I cut down, I definitely plan on making another smaller step stool / plant stand. I just got to grab another one of these round pieces of wood from Lowe's. These are so cheap, by the way. You can get them for like $8 to like, I would say $20 depending on which size you get. This one here, I want to say it was like $8 for this size. And it really, for the bar stool that I cut down, I need it to be a little smaller anyway, so this all just worked out. Now, this glue does dry really fast, so if you are going to use that power grip glue, make sure that whenever you put your piece of wood on, or whatever it is that you're gluing together, that you move quick, because once it dries, you cannot get it apart. It is on there. And then once I got that secured, I went ahead and went all over the top with this pre-mixed concrete. I got this from Lowe's. I had it on hand, and I just figured this would be the perfect project to use it on. This is pretty much the same method I did back when I turned a planter into a table for my aunt's bedroom makeover. Y'all may remember that DIY. So I'm basically just taking that same technique and just scraping on this concrete all over the top of this wood piece, creating more of a stone look tabletop. Now, I personally chose to leave it the color that it is. I actually like the look of the gray and black. I think it looks nice. You could totally paint over it though once it's dry. But once I got it fully covered, I just took that same scraper and just kind of smoothed out the edges as best as I could, adding a couple layers where it got a little thin. And then once that was done, I took a sponge. I let this dry for just a couple minutes, not fully dry though, because once it's dry, it's solid. It's basically, it's concrete. So before it fully dried, I took a sponge and I wet it just a little bit, and I'm gonna actually kind of wet sponge this table to smooth it out a little bit and kind of create a little bit more of a texture, so that way it got rid of those lines from the scraper. This is optional, but this is just what I did to create more of a smooth textured look. Now, while it was drying, I came inside and I'm going to make some lemon water. So I'm just slicing up a lemon, and I'm going to put the lemon inside of this beautiful glass pitcher that I got from a thrift store for $7. This is stunning. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And then I used the table as a little patio table next to my new little patio setup. Look how cute. Stop. I look like Susie Homemaker right now. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It fits perfectly. And I love that it's not too bulky. It still feels very airy. It's not too cluttered over here. And I can also use it as a plant stand if I need to, but now it functions better as a table as well. So yeah, if you have an old plant stand, turn that bad boy into a table for your patio. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Flip It Thursday series. Make sure you check out last week's Flip It Thursday if you missed it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite flip was today, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all.